students, in continuity of chapter number 15, Biodiversity and Conservation. Now we are going to discuss about patterns of biodiversity. You are familiar with this term biodiversity. Now you have idea about this biodiversity at worldwide level or in India, how many species on earth of animals and plants, as well as in our country India also. We also know about biological organization of biodiversity. It means that genetic diversity, species diversity and ecological diversity. If we study in detail this biodiversity, we should have also idea about patterns of biodiversity. Basically, there are two patterns: latitudinal gradients and species area relationship. First of all, let's discuss about latitudinal gradients. Diversity of plants and animals is not uniform throughout the world but shows uneven distribution. It means that if we move in any area of world or our country, actually it is not same, not equal. It's not even distribution, but it's an uneven distribution of plants and animals and their species. For many groups of animals or plants, there are interesting patterns in diversity. Some are well known here. So, latitudinal gradient in diversity. We can study this by studying different groups of plants and animals here. In general, species diversity decreases as we move away from the equator towards poles. Why it is so? You can understand it yourself also. If you think about that, this species diversity decrease as we move away from equator towards poles region. With very few exceptions, tropics, latitudinal range of 23.5 degree north to 23.5 degree south. So, this type of tropics harbor more species than temperate or polar areas. Colombia, located near the equator, has nearly 1400 species of birds. But Europe at 41 degree north has 105 species and Greenland at 71 degree north only 56 species. It is very interesting when we compare this actually number of species according to their latitudinal range. Colombia, located near the equator, has nearly 1400 species of birds. New York at 41 degree north has 105 species and Greenland at 71 degree north only 56 species. So, you can compare this way different regions as per their latitudinal range and number of species observed there. India, with much of its land area in the tropical latitudes, it has more than 1200 species of birds. Now we are talking about our country. If you talk about India, with much of this land area in the tropical latitude, has more than 1200 species of birds. Forest in a tropical region like equator has up to 10 times as many species of vascular plants as a forest of equal area in a temperate region like the Midwest of the USA. This way we can make a comparison. If a forest in a tropical region like equator has up to 10 times as many species of vascular plants as a forest of equal area in a temperate region like Midwest of the USA. So, this way also we can make this type of comparison. largely tropical Amazonian rainforest in South America has the greatest biodiversity on earth. It is very important for us, that is the largely tropical Amazonian rainforest in South America has the greatest biodiversity on earth. It is home to more than 1,400 species of plants, 300 of fishes, 1,300 of birds, 427 of mammals, 427 of amphibia, 378 of reptiles, and more than 1,25,000 invertebrates. It is very interesting. So, in this area, if we talk about its distribution of plants and animal species, so it is observed that here, which is a home of 40,000 species of plants, 3,000 fishes, 1,300 birds, 427 mammals, 427 amphibia, 378 reptiles, and more than 1,25,000 of invertebrates. Scientists estimate that in this rainforest there might be at least 2 million insect species waiting to be discovered and named. As we know, insects, they are largest group on this earth. They are having largest number of organisms on this earth. Just assume this, that here this scientist estimate that in this typical rainforest area might be at least 2 million insect species waiting to be discovered and named. So, known species are there in large number, as well as species not discovered are also there in large number here. Now you can think that what is special in tropics when we compare this type of greater biological diversity compared to other area. Different ecologists, biologists, scientists working on this topic. Ecologists and evolutionary biologists have proposed various hypotheses, and some hypotheses are important to study for us when we study patterns of biodiversity. These hypotheses are actually proposed theory, and different ecologists and biologists, they have given different hypotheses related with this topic. Some are important to study for us here. First one, speciation is generally a function of time, unlike temperate regions subjected to frequent glaciation in the past. Tropical latitudes have remained relatively undistributed for millions of years, and thus they had a long evolutionary time for species diversification. This is actually first hypothesis proposed here. It's related with speciation. It's a function of time, unlike temperate region subjected to frequent glaciation in past. So, tropical latitude have remained is comparatively undistributed for millions of years, and that's why, as we know, the process of evolution take place. It takes long time for species diversification. Second, tropical environments, unlike temperate ones, are less seasonal, relatively more constant and predictable. Such constant environments promote niche speciation and lead to a greater species diversity. So, this second hypothesis, main point is tropical environments, unlike temperate ones, are less seasonal and more constant and predictable, which promote niche speciation and lead to a greater species diversity. If you talk about third theory, third hypothesis related with this, what does it say? There is more solar energy available in the tropics, which contributes to higher productivity. This is in turn might contribute indirectly to a greater diversity. So it is related with this availability of solar energy. If solar energy is more available, it means that sunlight is more available. Green plants can carry out maximum photosynthesis process, and as we can understand, when photosynthesis process take place more, then it's a large higher productivity in particular area. So this way, these three hypotheses they are proposed regarding this. We can understand about speciation, tropical environments unlike temperate area, and its third one is related with solar energy. Now let's discuss about species area relationship. During the pioneering and extensive exploration in the wilderness of South American jungles, the greater German naturalist and geographer, its a name Alexander von Humboldt, he observed that within a region species richness increase with increasing explored area, but only up to a limit. It means that it is not like that when this region species richness increase continuously this area explored area, but it is up to certain limit. So on the basis of this, the pioneering and extensive exploitation in the wilderness of South American jungle, this scientist, naturalist, is a German scientist Alexander von Humboldt. He proposed that within a region species richness increase with increasing explored area, but only up to a limit. In fact, the relation between species richness and area for a wide variety of taxa, it means that angiosperm plants, birds, bats, freshwater fishes, turns out to be a rectangular hyperbola on a logarithm scale. The relationship is a straight line described by the equation. So, the scientist, biologist named Alexander von Humboldt, he proposed this species area relationship. He proposed his theory, relationship between species richness and area for a number of taxa, that is like angiospermic plants, freshwater fishes and bird, is found to be rectangular hyperbola. On a logarithm scale, okay, if we talk about this logarithm scale value, the relationship is a straight line described by equation. This equation is important here. According to this equation, log s is equal to log c plus z log a. So this equation is described on the logarithm scale. Relationship is a straight line. Okay, log s is equal to log c plus z log a. Now what is s? S means species richness. A is area. Z is shape of line here. It is shape of line, regression, and C is equal to y minus intercept. So S means species richness, A means area, Z means slope of the line, it's a regression coefficient, and C is equal to y minus intercept. Ecologists, they have discovered that value of z line in the range of 0.1 to 0.2 regardless of the taxonomic group of the region, whether it is the plant in Britain, birds in California or mollusca in New York State. The slope of the regression line are amazingly similar if it is between the range of 0.1 to 0.2. But if we analyze this, the species area relationship among very large areas like the entire continents, at that time we can find that the slope of the line to be much steeper. Z value in the range of 0.6 to 1 point. Previously it was what? It was value in between 0.1 to 0.2. Here now the Z values in the range of 0.6 to 1.2. Here it is a slope of line is to be much steeper. For example, for frugivorous, it means that fruit eating birds and mammals in the tropical forest of different continents, the slope is found to be 1.1. So here the range of z line is value, it gives idea about different type of species area distribution. Now let's study this figure related with this species area relationship. So on log scale, now we have studied about formula also, log scale also. On log scale the relationship, it becomes linear. Here you can see that on x-axis area is given, on y-axis species richness is given. In this graph, this curve, one straight linear line you can see here, and another you can see it's not straight linear but so curvature is observed. As we know, log s is equal to log c plus z log a. So on log scale in linear line, you can see this formula equation related with species area relationship, that is log s is equal to log c plus z log a. Another curve you can see regarding species area relationship, so that is s is equal to c a scale. As we know, the different ecologists, they have discovered the value of z line. The z line value is on the range of 0.1 to 0.2. It's a regardless of 0.1 to 0.2 of the taxonomical group of the region where the plants of Britain, birds in California or mollusca in New York State, the slope of the regression line are amazingly similar. But if we analyze the species area relationship among very large area like the entire continent, now it is different. The slope of the line to be much steeper. Z value in the range of, now it's not 0.1 to 0.2 but it is 0.6 to 1.2. And if you talk about the frugivorous, fruit eating birds, these examples, and mammals in the tropical forest of different continents, the slope is found that it is 1.15. So according to distribution of this species area relationship, z value is also different. Somewhere it is between 0.1 to 0.2. In other area it is also in higher value 0.6 to 1.2, and it is also observed that it may be in the range of 1.15. So by studying this formula, its logarithm scale and this graph, now we can understand that So species area relationship. So proposed we can understand the pattern of biodiversity this way, and this two type of patterns of biodiversity. It means that latitudinal gradient and second is a species area relationship. By studying these two theory, we can now easily understand pattern of biodiversity.